my whole life is really a story of renewal. You know, I grew up in this town, and I raised in a very good family. And when I was 17, I made some decisions that were contrary to my parents, and I had 5 years of doing things I'm not real proud of, and at the end of that 5 years, I was a pretty old 21-year-old, if you can be old when you're 21. And one night the Holy Spirit came to me when I was 21 and said, I've got so much better for you than this. And I said, Lord, you can have my life because I don't want it anymore. And I sat there and confessed Him for 2 days, and I did everything that I could to make things right. And I went on, and it was a different life. And I sat in one of my professor's driveways on cement, and he had his Bible, and he said Psalms 139, and he said, God knew that you were going to be here today. Every day was written. And I went on with my life, and I prayed for a woman, and right after that I met Heidi. And Heidi came in, and she was part of our family. My parents loved her, and we were together for 27 years. We had an agreement that we were not going to have children for 2 years after we got married. And Heidi wanted kids so bad that she convinced me that if we got pregnant after 1 year and 3 months, then we would have a baby, and we would be childless for 2 years. And in April of 1992, my son Guy was born, and he was a little bit small, and he was a little bit weak. Nobody was too concerned. But he just didn't gain weight. He didn't do everything he was supposed to do. And they had a term in those days called failure to thrive. And he just got worse. And this kid would cry 24 hours, and we were young parents, and people thought we weren't feeding the baby. And we ended up at Sparrow's emergency room, and they admitted us at Sparrow. And we were there 2 weeks. They figured out.
And he had Krabbe's disease.
Yeah. And all the doctors came in, and they were all excited that they figured out what was wrong with this baby. And it was terminal for the child. There was no fixing the disease. And they were all excited, and they said, this will never happen again. And we were like, how can it be this will never happen again? And they said, well, you can do prenatal testing, and we can determine that this child has the disease or that doesn't have the disease, and we can abort the baby. And just Heidi and I looked at each other, and we just knew that
you weren't going to do that. If it happened again, that wasn't
no,
wasn't even
it wasn't.
an option.
And so, you know, if you ever knew Heidi, Heidi was tenacious. Heidi didn't give up. And so, Guy was born in April, and he passed away on December 22nd of 1992. Yeah, we buried him on Christmas Eve. We went on with our lives. You know, after you have a terminally ill child, it's very hard, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and away we went again. We delivered. Jordan was born in September of that year. And because the doctors knew what to look for, it was just a simple blood test. And they knew right away that she had that too. And, you know, with every one of our pregnancies, we had a 25% chance of having this disease. And so when you take two 25% chances in a row, you have a 6% chance of doing it twice. And you're just like, oh, come on, God, kick the table. You know, it's all an odds thing, and we lost. And Jordan had it. And Jordan lived a long time. Guy lived 8.5 months. Jordan lived 26 months. She died in November of 95. And at that time, I was able to purchase this accounting practice in Union Rapids, and we moved back to this area. And that was God's provision too. What's that?
Did you get pregnant with Joey while Jordan was still with you?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Joey was born in February of 95.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we didn't know that we were pregnant. And my mother had a vision in their bedroom, and this audible voice told her it'll be a boy, and his name will be Joseph, and he will be the leader of many. And she called Heidi on the phone and said, "You're pregnant, and it's going to be a boy, and his name will be Joseph." And it was Joey was still in Heidi's womb. And at that time, because they knew we would not abort the baby, they wanted to do experimental stem cell transplants in utero if Joey were to have Krabbe's disease. So we were sent down to Hutzel Hospital in Detroit, and we met with a guy by the name of Dr. Johnson. He did what's called CBS sampling. And before the test, he said, "I have the magic hands. Every time we've had a situation like this where, you know, people will not abort the child, and there's a possibility that we can do this stem cell transplant, the baby always turns out okay." Well, he did the CVS sampling, and Joey did not have Krabbe's disease. So Joey was born in February of 95, and Jordan passed away that November, and we moved here that November also. And my friend Lonnie Brooks from Mount Pleasant was at our house before Jordan passed away, and he prophesied in our house, and he said, "John, the Lord has showed me that after this happens, that the blessings will flow." And that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had 20 years of blessings after that point. Jacob was born in January of 98, and the same thing. We went down to Hutzel Hospital. They did the CVS Cortisol sampling, and he didn't have the crab base too. But after 4 pregnancies and the white hair that I had at that point, Heidi decided that there were going to be no more children. So that was the end. But you know, we had 2 sick kids, and then we had 2 healthy kids. You know, God provided a wonderful place for me to work and a community to live, and we had it good. We had our family, and boy, we enjoyed those kids. I always used to say about, I don't know if there were 2 little boys that were loved more than these 2 little kids. I've had a wonderful life. I really have. Heidi died in February of 2015. And she died on February 4th. Very unexpectedly. On the 2nd of that month, on February 2nd, 2015, we had a snowstorm here. A big snowstorm, and we couldn't get out of our house. And we stood in front of the house, and we were waiting for my younger boy Jacob to finish plowing the drive so we could get out and go to work. And it was a crystal clear, blue, crisp morning, just absolutely stunning. And we stood there, we looked at each other, and we were talking about how full of lives we've had. And we actually said if we died today, we had full lives, good lives. 2 days later, Heidi died. She worked all day. She didn't complain about being sick. We were talking to her as she was walking out the door. She walked out the door, and she had the dogs in the car, her files in the car. She was scraping her windows, and she just collapsed and died. Every time something like this happens to me, I say, is this really happening? And you say, how? How can I go on? And somehow, God, it provides, so much of what we do is, or what I've done is, you either lay down and die or you keep going. And since I was a fairly young man, I've lived by God's precepts. And God has always brought me through these things. So Heidi died in February of 2015. June of 2015, wasn't it June? I was out in my barn, and I got a text message from the wife of my campus minister from Central Michigan University, and her name was Susie Oberski, and she said, "How would you like to meet Amazing and Wonderful?" And I said, "Who wouldn't want to meet Amazing and Wonderful?" And it was just so amazing how God worked in that situation, because Heidi passed away, and 2 of my tax clients were meeting with Sue to set up a women's Bible study. And they heard about all this. And Sue told me, she said to herself, "I wonder how old he is." And then, that was then totally unrelated to that. Michael and Susie Oberski thought that maybe Sue and I ought to meet each other.
So, Michael, as John said, Michael was his youth pastor in college, so
right.
From 25 years ago about, and Michael had been a pastor at my church with his wife Susie, and she is my best friend. So looking back at the connections were
And pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Couldn't be explained any way other than God's intervention.
And we started dating, and in September of 2016 we got married. I went out partridge hunting with one of my college roommates, a guy by the name of Ken Knott, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And he said to me, he said, "John, has what's happened to you uncommon to man?" And I said, "Ken, I'm going to shoot you." But he was right. Ken was right. Babies die every day. So why should I feel that I'm so special that this isn't going to touch my life? And it changed the way I look at life, because instead of saying why me, I say why not me? And I've been that way for quite a while. And that is probably how I've coped with most of the things that have happened. Because I honestly don't feel that I'm so special that these things should have happened. What's really interesting is how my viewpoint of what's permanent has changed. I mean, even my relationship with Sue, it's hard for me to see the permanence in this that I did probably with Heidi. Because I know it's not permanent. The only thing we have that's permanent is Christ. It's really, I had this illusion before Heidi died that I had many permanent things in my life. Not that I don't love Sue, but
Permanence is eternity.
yeah, permanence is eternity.
Just we talk about this a lot, that through all of this, he's been glorified. And that's ultimately what he wants, is that he be glorified.
Well, the scriptures say joy comes in the morning. Had a lot of really dark nights. It also says there are plans to prosper and not harm us.
What's that scripture?
That God will restore the years that the locusts have eaten.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That one a lot.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting too, every problem that you have, it's like compared with Good Friday. The only good thing about Good Friday is Easter Sunday always comes. And I've had a lot of Easter Sundays.